So I've been going through my Letterbox trying to update movies that I've seen, and I figured in the process, why not share movies that I have rated at 5 stars with you? Now, is this every single movie that I think is a 5-star movie on this list? No. But I figured I'd share a couple just for fun. The 1946 film A Matter of Life and Death is visually stunning, way ahead of its time, has a strong message about love is sacrifice and sacrifice is love. This was way ahead of its time. Beautiful looking film. 5 out of 5. 1961 film Yojimbo by Akira Kurosawa is a legendary film, a film about old versus new, tradition versus technology. This film is a 5 out of 5. The 1952 film Akiru by Akira Kurosawa is a beautiful film, a world-class 5 out of 5, one of the best films ever made. A film about the decaying family life in Japan and just learning to live. Must see. The 1952 film 12 Angry Men still holds up to this day. It's still so well shot. A film about justice. It still hits just as hard as when it was first released. 5 out of 5. 1928 film The Passion of Joan of Arc is based on a true story of the woman who believed that God told her she was chosen to lead France over the victory of England. This film will impact you even to this day. It's absolutely perfect. It's heartbreaking. It's beautiful. When they burn her at the stake, it looks so real. Man, this film is tough. It's a great film. In 2001, David Lynch dropped this classic called Mulholland Drive, and if you've never seen it, just give it a watch one time in your life. It's an experience like no other. I've had to go back to this film so many different times to peel back all the different layers to this because this is the most complex film I've ever seen on screen. It's a masterpiece, 5 out of 5. 1993, we were blessed with Tombstone. I know it feels so cliche to say that this is my favorite Western of all time, but I'm sorry, it is. The pacing, the action, the storytelling, Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, it's just perfection in every single way. And it may not be perfect to a lot of people, but to me, I don't have any problems with this movie. I find it to be a 5 out of 5. In 2002, we got City of God. This is a film about government corruption, violence. This is a 5 out of 5. This was my very first foreign film, and I haven't looked back ever since. The Grave of the Fireflies came out in 1988, and I will say to this day, this is the saddest film I've ever seen. You could talk about it's anime, it's animated, it won't impact you the same. That's a lie, because this is about World War II and what happens to families when bombings happen. And if you don't feel anything after watching this movie, you are heartless, okay? This is a 5 out of 5. I Am Cuba came out in 1964. This is a beautiful film about survival, human nature, adaptation to different circumstances. This is a 5 out of 5 in my opinion, and I need to buy this on Criterion. 1950 film Sunset Boulevard is a 5 out of 5. The witty dialogue, the cynical tone, it's funny. It's a film that you have screenwriters in this movie, but the screenwriters for this movie did such a great job. Gloria Swanson gives a great performance. This is just a phenomenal film that deserves to be talked about because it holds up really well. Another Round came out in 2020, and not enough people talk about this specific movie or this Mads Mikkelsen performance. This is 100% a 5 out of 5 for me. I found this to be an intelligent experiment, just well-written story, and I mean, amazing. I couldn't stop thinking about it after I saw it. Give this a watch if you've never seen it. Old Boy came out in 2003. I gotta clarify that just so y'all don't think I'm talking about the Spike Lee version. Yes, Old Boy, the 03 OG version, is a 5 out of 5 for me. This is the perfect revenge film. Come and See came out in 1985. This is one of the few war films that I do have placed at a 5 out of 5. This really just shows you how senseless war is, the brutality of it, and just how disgusting it is. This is a powerful film that will absolutely break your heart. Just like The Grave of Fireflies, you're not going to want to watch this too many times because it is tough. Blade Runner, I have it a 5 out of 5. This is one of the greatest science fiction works ever made that continues to influence everything that we see even to this day. Vertigo came out in 1958, and if you bought the 4K for this movie and you watch it, it's amazing how beautiful this film looks. The color palettes are amazing. And of course, this is one of my all-time favorites, so of course I got it on my 5 out of 5 list. But Alfred Hitchcock got a couple of 5 out of 5. Like the 1954 film Rear Window, this is a 5 out of 5. 100% a great film, extremely well placed to take place in one location for majority of the entire movie. Crazy. This film is awesome. This is not for everybody. This is a truly disturbing film, but this is my kind of disturbing. Requiem for a Dream is a 5 out of 5, my favorite Darren Aronofsky film. If you've seen it, you know what it is. If you haven't seen it, proceed with caution. Dead Ringers is my favorite David Cronenberg film. I knew from the moment the credits rolled that this was going to be a 5 out of 5 for me. I absolutely loved everything about this movie. It's disturbing, it's weird, it's great performances. I need a Criterion release or an Arrow release, some kind of special release for this movie. They did it for Scanners, they did it for Crash, they did it for Videodrome. I need one for this because this is his best film. No Country for Old Men is a 5 out of 5 without a doubt. I don't even need to explain myself here. Y'all know what it is with this one. There are two James Bond movies that I would say are the greatest work in the entire collection, and that would be From Russia with Love and Casino Royale with Daniel Craig. But my absolute favorite Bond is going to be Sean Connery. This is the one that truly stands the test of time from the storyline to everything that happens. This is a 5 out of 5 movie. I'm a huge James Bond fan, and this is numero uno. I don't care how people judge things by today's standards. For the time period, this was absolutely insane and scared people. This scared the churches. This scared every religious person. This is what set the tone. And the reason why people don't think this is 5 out of 5 today is because you've seen too many people copy and try to do this right here. This is the OG. This is a 5 out of 5. The Exorcist, the original. I love this movie. Yes. John Singleton's 1991 film Boys in the Hood is one of the greatest coming-of-age films of all time. I have it 5 out of 5. This will continue to be 5 out of 5 because the messages that this is hitting on is next level. I love this movie. Silence came out in 2016, and it's a shame not a lot of people have heard about this movie because this is arguably one of Martin Scorsese's greatest films he's ever made. How much would you be willing to be persecuted for your beliefs? Watch this movie and find out. Wild Strawberries came out in 1957, an Ingmar Bergman masterpiece, a film about loneliness, childhood, memories. This is a 5 out of 5 film. Ingmar Bergman's 1978 film Autumn Sonata is one of the greatest screenplays I've ever seen. The dialogue between mother and daughter is so intense, you feel like a fly on the wall and almost feel like you should not be watching this because it feels so personal. 5 out of 5. Ingmar Bergman's film Persona that came out in 1966 is so complex, a story of duality, and this is easily one of the most complex movies that you will ever see, that you will be forced to go back to gather more information on what you just saw. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at. The performances are great. This is a 5 out of 5. Back to the Future Part 1 is a 5 out of 5. The Fellowship of the Ring is a 5 out of 5. Lord of the Rings The Two Towers is a 5 out of 5. Lord of the Rings Return of the King is a 5 out of 5. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back is the greatest Star Wars film of all time, and it is a 5 out of 5. The Fugitive is a 5 out of 5. Harrison Ford is one of my favorite actors. There is not a cat and mouse game that is going to beat this movie right here. If you've never seen this, make it a priority. Easily one of my favorite movies of all time. Spike Lee's 1992 film Malcolm X is a 5 out of 5. If you've never seen this, make it a priority, especially if you want to learn about some Malcolm X. Spike Lee's 1989 film Do the Right Thing is a 5 out of 5. This is a perfect film that everybody needs to see, and it is one of the best looking films that you will see in its creative style and the storytelling of this neighborhood. Akira Kurosawa's 1954 film Seven Samurai is a 5 out of 5 masterpiece, one of the greatest films of all time. Ingmar Bergman's 1957 film The Seventh Seal is 100% a 5 out of 5. I could not stop thinking about this movie, and I'm going to continue to revisit this. Boogie Nights is a 5 out of 5. Arrival is a 5 out of 5. The Thing is a 5 out of 5. Judas and the Black Messiah is a 5 out of 5. Raging Bull is a 5 out of 5. Rocky 1 is a 5 out of 5. The Wind That Shakes the Barley is a 5 out of 5. In the Heat of the Night is a 5 out of 5. Taxi Driver is a 5 out of 5. Before Sunset is a 5 out of 5. The Sting is a 5 out of 5. Mad Max Fury Road is a 5 out of 5. Alien is a 5 out of 5. Aliens is a 5 out of 5. And I'll end it here. Oppenheimer is a 5 out of 5.